So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the LaTangela Show podcast. You never know who's going to be in the hot seat or on the tan line, but I've got questions that need answers. And when my girl Morgan called me, she said, Tan, I got something that you might want to talk about, something that you might want to learn about. And I say, okay, cool, let's get to it. It's the award-winning STEM camp, and it's returning to the Southern University for the third year. Now, I got some heavy hitters with me today. I'm talking about they're doing it with style and grace and sheer elegance, darling. We have Dr. Francesca Mellieon-Williams. Now, she's the Associate Dean for Student Affairs, College of Sciences and Engineering. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm holding on. True story. And we also have Patrice Aron, ExxonMobil Pipeline Company, Mid-Atlantic and Southeast Area Manager. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you this morning?
You know, it's always a blessing to have the world's greatest on my line.
Oh,
And
you're
I
so
know
sweet.
that you all are doing this in the spirit of excellence. You're doing it to push the initiative forward in the right direction, and you're doing it for our babies. So I want to hear from you, Dr. Williams. Tell me a little bit about the things that come across your desk while you're working on different programs and bridging these type of relationships for our students.
So, with this type of relationship, we always want to engage the community into STEM. We want students to experience what's actually happening at facilities such as ExxonMobil and for them to understand what that means for them long term in their community and in their lives.
Absolutely. And Exxon, you're no stranger in our community. So when you show up on the scene with a heavy hitter like Jaguar Nation, we know that you're paying it forward. Why is it so important that you all are a staple in building these relationships with universities such as these?
Yeah, so first off, I want to start by saying I am a graduate of Southern University. So, Southern University is near and dear to me. And, I have family members as well as my son graduated from Southern. So, this camp gives students who may not have access to STEM enrichment opportunities, and then also the necessary skills that will help prepare them for the future and to be industry leaders in the future. So that's really what we're looking for. We want to inspire the next generation of innovators. Someone may say, "Oh, I would like to be an engineer," or "I would like to be a scientist." So we want to expose them to those STEM related activities. So, and then we also want to help foster diversity in STEM. So
I
it's
like that.
important that we're at Southern University to help foster that diversity in STEM.
Because representation, it truly matters. And when the students get there, they see not only African Americans, but they see these powerful ladies that's representing and leading and granting these opportunities. And I know that they do not take it for granted. Now, you have a bunch of brilliant minded sixth and 12th graders. These kids are built different. Like they've been here before. They think of things that we may not have even have come across our desk. They kind of know a little bit of everything, right?
Yes.
But then you also have to break it down for them because I don't know if they're familiar with life before asking Google. So
hmm
critical thinking in this state and time looks a lot different than it did for us not that long ago. Not that long ago. Let's put an emphasis on that. Not that long ago. So what are some of the highlights for you in the introduction of STEM for these 6th through 12th graders while showing them the way?
So for me, well, for us at Southern University, not only during this week with ExxonMobil and the Tapia Center, but we want them to see how STEM is every day. We want them to see that Everything they do, touch, feel, see is STEM. And so we create activities with, just like with this week coming up, with household items, things that they use all the time, to show them that you can take something very simple and explain something very difficult that may seem difficult to them. So we try to bring it as close to home to them. We try to bring the technology, but we leave it out a little bit just to make sure that we have their attention the entire time.
Now, Dr. Williams, break that down for me. Because if someone is just tuning in and they're just hearing about STEM, we hear it, we hear it, we hear it. But when you say I want to bring it to everyday life and the things that's in our homes, what does that typically look like?
So for our students, I'll give an example of, first of all, let me say STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So that's the first step. We have to explain to them what that is. For example, this week we did an activity. Our theme was STEM in sports and STEM in beauty.
Okay.
So students actually created their own sports drinks with, again, things they have at home, and just understanding what it looks like, what is actually in a sports drink, how are those ingredients combined for taste to help you with electrolytes buildup. And then on the flip side, we did a STEM in beauty. So we made some lip balm. But
Okay.
again, talking about the ingredients, helping them understand why things come together, how they come together, the chemistry behind that process, and what that looks like. So showing them that, like we said earlier, it's there. They see it all the time. They experience it all the time. They just don't think about that this is STEM. Some scientist, some engineer is creating these items for you to use every day.
Now I'm upset. I missed the mark. You know what I'm saying? Like this is 6th through 12th grade. I demand we come back and do one of these for the adults. Because,
Absolutely.
when you start talking about things in that perspective, it shows us the things that we put in our bodies. Do we really understand it?
Mhm.
Do we really
That's right.
understand the effects of it? Do we understand why we want and crave certain things? That is awesome. And kids are little sponges. So by the
Yes.
time you catch them, they're coming to the house making everybody change everything. And we
Hmm.
need to know why too.
That's
So
exactly.
doing these events, I know that you have a list of them, granting those type of opportunities and even entering into the workforce. Do you see the retention of the students like, you know what, I might really want to give this a shot now that I understand it?
Yes. So I have a perfect example this year. Two of my students from some years ago, who are now Southern University students, who are actually student assistants with our
That's
program.
awesome.
So they chose to attend Southern University and major in a STEM career or STEM related field. So they're actually pouring back into the students that they once were. So we do see the return. We've had several students graduate recently who were participants in our program. So it's making a difference. They are seeing, as Miss Patrice said, the diversity. They're getting exposed to careers and understand what people actually do every day. So we see the difference. We appreciate, again, the partnerships and the collaborations, because that just takes us a little bit further and expands what we can offer our students.
Right. And this is an award winning program. Let's put a handle on that. An award winning program is back for the third year. Let's just say that a parent, an aunt, an uncle, a sister or brother wants to get signed up for something like this for the fourth annual, because I do anticipate it coming back, as well as the rest of the students and families. And I'm sure both of you. How do we learn more about these type of opportunities and even sign up?
So for us in the College of Science and Engineering, we host outreach activities throughout the year. This program is just our premieres for summer, but we post on our social media, on the university social media pages, about upcoming events and how you can register.
I know we have a program coming up on the 26th and the 27th. Y'all tell me a little bit about that.
So on the 26th and 27th, that is kind of our culminating activities for our Carbon Week. And that's when we have the amazing folks from ExxonMobil come over to see what our students have been engaging in all week. So they are actually building um, reservoirs, as if it was a reservoir in the field. They actually build that, and then there's the process of building it. What they want to do is to be able to capture the most, we call it liquid, just to kind of give them an understanding, but to be able to capture that, and then whoever captures the most, their reservoir is able to release the most liquid outside, then they are actually the winners of that challenge. It's very, you have to, just like with science, with STEM, Precision and details are very critical to the process. So it
Right.
forces the students to pay attention, because if they mess up one thing and their reservoir has a leak, just like if it was in the natural world, it has a leak, then it escapes. And you don't want that to escape, because now your liquid has been exposed to the atmosphere and your reservoir no longer works. So the
Wow.
goal is for them, again, precision and details. And if you think they are competitive on a game, watching them compete, Miss Patrice and her crew were there last time. They are focused and want to be the winners. So it's
Yeah.
it's a good time.
Patrice, how stressful is it for you and your team while you're watching these babies sweat it out? I know you gotta want to jump in and say, "Hold on, you're stressing. Let me help you," but you can't. Like, how stressful is that for you?
No, it's actually not stressful. It's really fun, to be able to engage with the students, because we do think that is very important for the students to be able to interact with, the local industry leaders, as well as the educators at Southern University. And it gives them also a way to learn about their education paths and also professional experiences. So we're there, just engaging directly with the students, and they're asking us additional questions outside of, the project that they're actually doing at that time. So they're asking us questions like, "How much money do y'all make?" We've definitely gotten
Hey,
that
look,
question.
in
So,
real time, because these kids really want to know, right? And,
yeah,
and they think about it though, because now our generation is different. We were okay with trying to figure it out, get the job, get the career path. These kids right now want to come straight out and start making some money before I give it my time and my attention. Is it worth it to me? And you have to have those real time answers for them. And that's the level of transparency and the effect of having you there to tell them, you know what, it's worth it. It's
that's right.
worth giving it something. It's not always a hashtag and a retweet. You got to put in some work, but that return on that investment is going to be worth it.
Yeah, and look, we do think that educating the students, about carbon capture, and its various applications is really important. And as Dr. Francesca said, bringing that to, everyday life. For example, CO2 is what's in soft drinks,
Mhm.
right? CO2 gives us that fizz and that refreshing taste as it dissolves into the liquid, especially, under the pressure in that can, and then that pressure is released, and the kids hear the release. You can actually hear the release of that CO2, right? So that CO2 reacting, not to get too technical here, but that CO2 reacting with the water is what forms what we call, or what we know as, carbonic acid, and that adds that little tangy sour flavor, and that tartness to our drinks. So when we talk about, hey, this is CO2 that's used in soft drinks, they are able to relate to that, right? And
Right.
and that's what you want to be able to do, is to relate those, real world settings, so that that helps reinforce the learning as they're in the classrooms, during the week of the STEM camp.
Indeed. And I know that the students are walking away with so much value in that time that's vested. And thank you to all of the mentors and the partners that thought enough to say this is something great. Because if we don't give our kids the opportunities to take advantage of this, idle hands are the devil's workshops. So we have to give them things that's going to make their minds work. It's creative thinking, it's putting them on a career path, it's helping them with their communication and their leadership skills, and even to say, if I don't know, it's okay to say I don't know and surround myself with people that will show it to me in real time and the right way. So this is awesome. I'm excited. I want to take a field trip at this point. You
You're welcome
know,
to join us. You're
You're
welcome to
welcome.
join us.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up and I'm just sitting there with, look, what makes this fizz? I'm asking the kids questions. So
Yeah.
yes, I'm here for it. Now, for more details on the events for the 26th and the 27th, how do we get involved?
So for that, we will be sharing out social media posts about the camp, and we have invited some of our, not only Exxon, but some of our local state legislators, council members, etc., to actually join and to see what the students are involved in and hear about, let them talk to you about what they've done, because they do a very good job of being able to explain their experience and how the process actually works. So if you want to stop by on Thursday and Friday, the information will be posted on our social media pages, and to just come and see what the students have been doing.
Absolutely. I want you all to think of this as an extension of your office. I know you always have great things going on. So whenever you have something, just say, look, I need to jump in the hot seat on the tan line or pull up on me because I'm on the other side of the hump from the yard. So just pull up anytime, okay?
Got it.
I know you have more work to do. So I'm going to let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love y'all, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Love you too.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all so much.